how Luffy changed everything in One Piece. Not resin, not oil, and not a literal smile, but the sun god Nika himself. Starting off with Luffy being his own type. This idea was actually said a lot, and at first I did not believe it. Why? Because him being something completely different from rubber didn't really make sense to me due to his fight with Enel being his only counter to the god of lightning. However, we get confirmation that the sun god Nika gains the properties of rubber and that his rubber is even strengthened, still making him immune to lightning and only being the beginning of his fruit abilities. This reveal was crazy, in which we find out that Zoan devil fruits have a mind of their own, and that the Gum Gum, or now should I say for short, the Nika Nika no Mi, actually may have escaped from the world government on its own. This also leads me to believe that Zoan devil fruit users didn't choose their fruits. The fruits may have chosen them. Especially in Luffy's case, he was able to get his fruit just in time for the Kozuki's prophecy of freeing Wano in 20 years, which was probably why Orochi was even in this chapter. But who else? Was Kaido chosen by his fruit? Was Sengoku chosen by his fruit? Was Marco? Or maybe the theory about Blackbeard's fruit actually being a Zoan is true too, in which he was also chosen. Well, he wasn't exactly chosen, he killed a guy to get it, but you get what I'm saying. Luffy's heartbeat begins to beat like a drum as we get panels of character reactions to this, and it seems like only certain people heard it and knew it was Luffy. But what does this symbolize? Does it mean that the heartbeat drum is only heard by hockey users? Maybe high observation hockey users? Who knows? But this chapter has way more connections than that. If we go back to chapter 1018, and with Who's statement, he says that Sun God Nika was a legendary warrior that slaves would pray to because he would free them from their suffering while bringing smiles to their face, and that one day he would free them all. This connection is crazy because of Arlong Park, Skypiea, Boa Hancock, Wano, and I'm sure much more. Starting off with Fisher, his Sun Pirates tattoo in Jolly Roger had to be inspired by Sun God Nika, due to his main goal being to free the fishermen from the world government who was capturing them as slaves. Even on his deathbed, he told his crew to hide their anger for humans because there was still kind ones like Koala, who was also a slave and too young to be prejudiced. Arlong did not accept that and carried his hate for humans and got back at them by having Nami branded and used as his own slave. But who freed her? Our man Luffy with the rubber of liberation. Unlike Arlong, Jinbei listened and instead bonded with Luffy, shared blood with him, and even joined his crew. This carried the will of Fisher Tiger and the sun. In Skypiea, we found out that they have been giving sacrifices to the sun god. Not exactly right, but in a weird way, it actually worked. Think about it. They gave sacrifices and prayed to the sun god only to be saved by Luffy, aka Joy Boy, having the power to counter Enel with his rubber body. Now for Boa. Boa, as we all know, fell in love with Luffy, the freer of slaves, and Boa herself used to be one. However, I don't know if this plot point is done yet, and it may even give a red flag. What if Boa ends up getting captured by the Marines attacking her island, and Luffy ends up saving her again? Damn, there goes my Navigax Luffy shit. And lastly, Wano. Luffy's goal is to defeat Kaido and help Momonosuke open the border to Wano to free them of their starvation and enslavement. And how is he going to do that? By using the sun god Nika's power to defeat Kaido in a ridiculous way. Speaking of ridiculous, Joy Boy / Nika / Luffy now being a literal cartoon character was only limited by his imagination and what it means for Kaido. This transformation revealed that Luffy now is given more freedom as well as more strength to his rubber body, as we see him grab Kaido from the hole in the roof with a gear third arm and bring him back to the fight. We then see him display his toon powers in swinging Kaido like a helicopter, making his eyes come out of his head, as well as grabbing the ground and reflecting his own blast breath attack back at him. Now, Luffy being only limited by his imagination is a scary thought, because we as readers don't know his limits. But what does this mean for Kaido? Is it his downfall? Potentially yes, but more than that. Kaido thought that this was his era. Kaido thought he was Joy Boy. His name even translates to it, but I believe this fight is the best that could have happened to him. As dirty as a pirate Kaido is, he still had his pride as a warrior, in which he explains to Luffy that he did not want to win by getting helped again like that, just like his fight with Oden. He wants the MC smoke, and I believe that fight with Oden still hurts his pride to this day. Kaido's introduction to the story is him wanting to kill himself, as well as being a super emotional drunk. He even gets the help of Caesar Cloud to create Smile Devil Fruit. And even in his own way, parallel to Luffy, who actually creates smiles by the joy and his energy that he brings around people, Kaido also created smiles in the form of devil fruits, forcing them to be like the Joker. However, he also happens to be an unstoppable force, so he keeps winning. But I actually see Kaido differently now. I see Kaido as a prisoner who escaped from Baki, as a man who wants to know defeat, because deep down he knows he's not Joy Boy. And this arc, he may get his wish in defeat and in one of the most entertaining fights he's ever had. Unless he has another awakening and just kills Luffy. But moving on. And our last point for this video, Shanks. Did he lie to us in the first chapter? The first episode? Is this the secret that Roger told Shanks? Is he a snitch? We still don't know. However, it does connect a lot of dots. If Shanks did know that his sacrifice in episode 1 was planned out and his bet on Luffy was correct. Because of that bet he made in inspiring Luffy to become a pirate, he enabled him to turn the One Piece world upside down. He freed princesses, kingdoms, countries, all while bringing smiles to their face. What we are seeing is the story of Joy Boy being retold 800 years later, right on time for our main character to make it to the final point in his journey, Laugh Tale. And even after being dropped with so much info, there's so much more to come. One Piece is easily one of the greatest stories ever.